Hey everybody, welcome to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin and this is Taking Turns. So Opt is now in the format, and I had to give a deck that makes full use of Opt a shot, and that is why you see what we have here. I love this deck. I love taking all the turns. I love my opponent not getting any of them, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to Scapeshift here. We'll see how good our opponent's draw is. I kept this one because it had the things we want. It has a Dictate, it has Cryptic Command, it has extra turns. So all we have to do is essentially live till turn 4, and we're going to flash this in at the end of the turn. That's not the worst draw. Okay, we're going to flash this in at the end of the turn, next turn, and then we'll have Cryptic Command up after that, and then we'll try to win from there. We'll be drawing 2 cards a turn, and we'll have 3 Time Warp effects. Just need to hit some lands here. And for our opponent to not basically just have, you know, the nut draw. So we're trying to dodge that. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. I know it sounds weird. You saw my content last week. There's nothing different, right? But I was actually recorded a little ways in advance and was on vacation for the past week and a half. So I'm rejuvenated, re-energized, all those good things. Excited for Ixalan, excited to be back for Magic and recording content for you. So also I love this deck, so this is a good one to come back to. Seeing Opt previewed and then knowing that I had this deck in the can ready to go with Opt was exciting for me. Okay, so our opponent is playing blue mana in their Scapeshift deck, so 5 color Bring to Light Scapeshift maybe? Probably not great for us. It means they're going to have access to counter magic. And that said, our opponent probably doesn't know what we're doing. Okay, search for tomorrow. I don't think we die next turn. We might. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, it's a Tarmogoyf. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, one of the cards I love in this deck is Radiant Fountain. A lot of decks run, say, Mikokoro or something in this spot, but I think Radiant Fountain is way better because the Mikokoro draw extra cards things doesn't come into play very often, but 2 life really does, especially you'll notice in this situation. We're at 22, our opponent's attacking with the Tarmogoyf. That will put us to 19. The way Scapeshift works is 19 is not 18, and 18 is the number they kill you from. They have to have an extra land to do more than 18 damage, so being at 19 rather than 18 is a big deal. Also, I have no idea what our opponent's doing, so there's that. There's a Valakut, so it's pretty clearly Bring to Light, but there's Tarmogoyf involved. There is a Sultai Charm. We are now going to go down to 18, but I think we're going to win. I have no clue what's going on here, but sure, we'll go to 18. Our opponent, he had the island, unfortunate. Okay, well, we're going to find out right now what's up. If this, he has 1 card in, so if it's a counter spell, good for him. If not, I feel pretty good about where we're at. Okay, so one of the really cool things about Opt, among many things, right, is it makes Temporal Trespass better. And this was always the Time Warp effect in the deck that was kind of on the edge. You didn't know if it was good or not. Sometimes it was great, sometimes it was terrible. But Opt now gives the deck 9. I'm playing 9 1-mana cantrips instead of... I see. I don't want you to do that. Okay, I'm going to Cryptic and bounce the Goyf, I think. Because that would mean he spends mana to replay it. We don't really need an extra card here. If he counters it, it counters it, whatever, we'll go from there. But I think he's just going to replay Goyf and then we're going to untap and win. Which is why I love this deck. You can just untap and win a lot. It's awesome. Okay. Our opponent's on 2 cards in hand. One of them's a Tarmogoyf. Ooh, this is a not Tarmogoyf mana, though. Search for tomorrow into Tarmogoyf. Okay, so we went. I say that. We have not won the game. It does, however, look very good for us. We do need to find a land. But that shouldn't be a problem, because we're going to get 4 cards here. Okay. Alright, well, no land yet, but we'll give it a shot. Time Warp ourselves. Pass, try to find land. Please be land, please be land. Alright, we did it. So I think at this point it's very difficult to lose. We have our win condition in hand with the Part the Water Veils. I guess we kind of need a land on this one as well to get to the Temporal Mastery, but clearly did it. Easy game, easy life. No, we just wanted to keep hitting land drops. We didn't do it. However, I have this really broken card called Opt here. All right, so this is 7, 8, 9. We can't cast Temporal Mastery yet. Our opponent doesn't have anything, though. I can also just... I can opt into a land and then pass back with Cryptic Up. And even Spreading Seas. That's pretty good. Great. I'd like to keep that on top. I'd like to draw that. I'd like to Spreading Seas this Valakut, I suppose. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, that's perfect because, again, now our opponent has 2 cards, but we can Cryptic Command anything relevant. And we can dictate at the end of the turn if he doesn't have anything we care about. And that should be enough to win. So I said we were going to untap and win. We didn't quite untap and win. We instead untapped and probably won. I will take the Sarmagoi Fit, though. Alright, let's see what our opponent's got going on over there. He needs like double Scapeshift or something. Or Scapeshift Counterspell. All of which is possible, however, Search for Tomorrow is not it. So, it seems pretty difficult to lose at this point. I even get to, well, if I want to. Don't know if I do or not. Oh, the Bring to Light. Guess we will be Cryptic Commanding. Alright, counter target spell, draw a card. I was going to say, we had the option to Elixir of Immortality there if we needed to. So we could... So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can play Dictate in my upkeep and draw 3 cards here. Okay, is this 7, 8 total, which is enough to do that. Okay, so I'm going to stop in my upkeep. Alright, move to our turn. Play this Dictate, because the beauty of how this works is you draw the extra cards in your draw step. So now we get to draw 3, which is pretty good. Okay, so gain some life just cuz. Play this here, Time Warp. Very difficult to lose the game at this point. In fact, we're not going to lose the game. Alright, yeah, our opponent is tapped out. We are ready to awaken a land. So we've gotten there. So there's 7, 9. Cast with Awaken on our Radiant Fountain. Get in there for 6. Draw all these really great cards. I actually don't have very many more turns right now. I will opt. Another opt. I guess I may as well put it on the bottom, right? Does it matter? So I could draw an opt and then scry again. Or I can just draw it anyways. Put it on the bottom. And draw a Sleight of Hand. Okay. Sleight of Hand. I would like to take this Time Warp. I'd like to play this Time Warp. Choose us. Alright, get on in there with the Radiant Fountain. Opponent's at 1. Move to our next turn. Get on in there with the Radiant Fountain. And move on to game 2. Alright, we did it. Yay. Okay, so our opponent probably going to have some counter magic here, so I think these are probably good. Remain's probably decent as well. Spreading Seas actually doesn't seem super relevant here. Doesn't seem great. Sideboarding with this deck is not easy, by the way. Exhaustion seems pretty good. Maybe we don't need that many here, guys. We can cut the Sleight of Hand here. Okay, I suppose this down to 62. I can cut the other 61, getting rid of the Spreading Seas here. Do I want the Laboratory Maniac? Our opponent, I kind of do, because our opponent could be playing something crazy, like Slaughter Games or something, because he has access to everything. So we may as well. May as well. Okay. Maybe we cut a Dispel here. I do like the exhaustions. We cut a Dispel. It's hard because we want to remand the Bring the Lights, but we want to dispel his counter spells. So, but do you know what? Counter spells are probably better than Giga Drowse. Giga Drowse, I do love the idea of having Giga Drowse, but all right, we'll give this a shot. We have some of the best of everything going on here. We'll see maybe once we see what our opponent, how he's chosen to fight against what we're doing here. But this gives us access to a lot of good stuff. That was a pretty textbook. Yeah, I may as well keep it. It's not great, but again, we're playing at this point 8 cantrips, but so it's got Dictates and a Time Warp effect. That was basically textbook taking turns right there. That's why I love this deck, because through the Breach, Scapeshift, whatever it is, Bring to Light, it's all. I mean, that's a very high tier deck in Modern right now, and that game was pretty easy. And if you think about just the decks that don't even have access to blue, even easier. So that's something to keep in mind. This deck's very good against that. Very good against Eldrazi-tron in my experience as well. It's the aggressive matchups, or the Grixis Death Shadow can be hard because they tear apart your hand, and then they have the really busted Stubborn Denial. So those are things you have to care about. But, Grixis Death Shadow is actually kind of on the downswing. Those matchups are winnable, clearly. This deck can beat a lot of decks, but, not something I would choose to play against. I'll play against Eldrazi-tron all day long. You don't always win. Sometimes they just have fast smashers, or, they thought not you to death or whatever, but it's a matchup I will gladly take. All right, so our opponent with a pretty good draw over there. Not the end of the world. We'll start the Dictate train here at the end of his turn. See what happens. I kept very slow hands, but our opponent is just trying to set up their kill. We're not at 18. We're not going to deal ourselves any damage. That means they need an additional land. And, if we're able to Dictate here, and then Exhaustion, hopefully we draw into a Cryptic Commander or Time Warp or something for that 5th turn of ours. Our opponent could also Bring to Light here for something. He does have all 5 colors of mana. Snapcaster Serum Visions, though. Not quite so concerned about that. I do think I should probably respond to this with Dictate, though, so he doesn't have an opportunity to draw a counter spell. Not that our opponent drawing a counter the first Dictate. Sure, I'm more concerned about the kill for him than anything else. Looks like he probably does have a counterspell here, just based on the delay there. Which is not always a great way to track your opponent's plays of Magic Online. Sometimes they want to drink, sometimes they got to use the bathroom, sometimes the cat jumped on them, attacked to their face, whatever. But it did seem like he was considering something. That said, our next turn's pretty decent. We get to play the Elixir and Exhaustion here. Elixir is sort of some anti-synergy, both with the one Temporal Trespass, but also the Laboratory Maniac plan, and it is possible that we could and should board it out, but it's just a good card. Ooh, Dispel, huh? So I'm actually not going to Exhaustion here because our opponent. Well, maybe I should. It keeps the Bring to Light off the table. Yeah, it's probably fine. We still have the Dispel up here. Oh, look, and now we get the full-on value of making our opponent not be able to do anything with their lands next turn. Yeah, don't want him to. He'd attack us to 18 and Bring to Light us to death. So I think we can assume that we're actually probably dead if we don't draw something. Although worth noting that Elixir gaining 5 life could be relevant. Probably not. Our opponent's going to have plenty of land drops and have all the damage possible, but we have a lot of good draws here. It looks like our opponent is going with the remand strategy, so the dispels will probably be pretty good. Okay, well, we have a lot of good draws. Ooh, didn't attack us. Interesting. Clicked through it, I suppose. Here goes. We get 2 shots at it. Opt and Giga Drowse, huh? Okay. Yeah. Here we get a little punished for the Radiant Fountain, which that happens sometimes. But we'll play the Elixir out. I'm actually going to Giga Drowse our opponent in their upkeep to keep the Bring to Life from getting us here, which I think I can do by hitting this, which takes him off of, it leaves him green, red, blue. Is there a better way to do it? If, say, I hit the steam vents and this, and he's got, no, there's not. I still think we need to do this. Will we get 4, though? I could get these and leave him with blue, black. So he's got access to 3 no matter what. Leaving him with red is good. I think the swamp's the one he's going to have the hardest time making. So I hit the swamp, the forest, and I guess the breeding pool because he gets his blue mana. Or maybe the forest doesn't matter. We get the swamp, both steam vents, and the breeding pool because that's his blue mana and the swamp. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay. I think that this is a good plan here. Okay, so I want that. I want the breeding pool. Okay, we're on both of them. I want these steam vents. And I want the other steam vents. Alright, we'll see how this works out. If things go well, then it could actually be good enough to win if we hit land and get apart the water veil. Now it doesn't see that's why you only have so many non-blue sources in this deck, because if that Radiant Fountain was a blue source, we could have Giga Drowse and opted. We could have also only Giga Drowse 3 times, but I think tapping all those blue sources plus the black source he needs for a good Bring to Light is probably the best decision here. Yeah, so our opponent can Snapcast or remand this. It might have a kill. Remanding 1 copy doesn't stop it, so he's still not got. Okay, this could be good for us. Because even if you remand one of them, you just. Oh, I guess he might be able to keep this. That might be his plan. I don't know. Again, you can't stop all the copies, but he can tap in such a way to stop one of them. Which may or may not matter. Okay, well, there we go. Our opponent has all the mana they need. But it's not, he doesn't have enough mana to cast Bring to Light, which is important. Could cast Scapeshift and just kill us, but would appear to be what's happening. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's enough, right? Because that's 2 Valakuts and 6 mountains. Yeah. All right. Well, you know, I also could have gone for all the green sources to try to keep him off of Scapeshift, but the deck I think actually plays more Bring to Lights than Scapeshifts, and he needed the land drop, which, you know, it's not surprising that he had it, but still. And has the mountains, 2 Valakuts. All right, you got it. Okay, well, that was pretty close. That was sort of the key turn there. You know, these spreading seas aren't terrible. Giga Drowse was pretty good. It just wasn't good enough. The spell wouldn't have done anything there either. The remands would. An additional blue source would have as well. The spreading seas, they're kind of decent when you can stop them from keep him off black mana for a turn, but I don't think that's a game we want to be playing. We just want to try to kill our opponent. And we were essentially a turn off there, I think. Yeah, I think the Gigadrow's plan is still fine. I hope we don't miss that third Dispel, but we'll see here. Our opponent might only have, like, the 4 remands in the deck, which isn't that many. Yeah, that game was pretty close. If we untap and we have 2 draws there to hit a land, and if our opponent doesn't just have us dead there, then we get to start taking turns and try to get there. You know what? Maybe I don't want this elixir. Maybe I don't care about this elixir. I want the sleight of hand. It's that or the dispel, but I think maybe the sleight of hand is good. I don't remember. Don't know if I actually got that in there or not under the gun, but all right, we'll keep this one. Got a Serum Visions. We got some turns. We got a Cryptic Command. This is a lot of good stuff here. We just need to find some lands. Well, there's some lands. We may as well keep them. Okay, Exhaustion pretty good as well. No turn 2 play, but such is life. He's got the Suspended Search for tomorrow. Good start. Okay, well, I mean, we can go Dictate into Cryptic Command, and that is pretty good. You can also Dictate into Exhaustion, depending on what happens. Ooh, fancy Misty Rainforest. Alright, so we face a decision here. Do I can Dictate now? I wonder if we should play Shadow down in our sideboard. That's some nice anti-Scapeshift tech, actually. I like that. Sorry, I'm just brewing on the spot here. I have these remands in the sideboard essentially for kind of this Scapeshift matchup. But Shadow of Doubt, for those who don't know, is a blue spell that says players can't search libraries this turn, draw a card. So it cycles at the worst for 2 mana. It's not quite as... I mean, it's obviously not as good on like a Through the Breach or something. Or you should not actually... Well, it's actually still good against Primeval Titan, isn't it? So that's... I like that. Keep that in mind. I like that one. Okay. Anyways, I can play Dictate now, and our opponent can't stop it. It gives them an extra card, though. But I think that's fine. Because we still have Cryptic next turn. I don't want our Dictate to get remanded. It's a very important card in the matchup. I think the one extra card in our opponent's deck, which is, you know, he's got the cards he's got. It's a bunch of ramp spells. I think resolving our spell is important. Is taking the turn off, time walking ourselves there to his remand, while he still is possibly able to play out another ramp spell isn't great. Whereas resolving Dictate, giving him the one extra card, probably not the difference in the game. Could be. Okay, well, here come... Oh, we actually got blown out pretty hard by that, didn't we? Okay, well, life goes on. We have Cryptic Command up. Oh, that's pretty rough. Sure didn't consider the Maelstrom Pulse. He did show it to us in game 1, but that's honestly, it's probably a 1 or a 2 of. If you get blown out, you get blown out sometimes. We got 2 for 1. It happens. We're about to turn back the 2 for 1 here with this Cryptic Command. This is going to make this game more difficult, though. Oh, man, it feels so bad to Cryptic Command that, but whatever. Our Cryptic Command might get remanded. If so, we get to eat up his mana. It doesn't get to use another ramp spell on it. Honestly, fighting over... Yeah, that's fine. Fighting over our Cryptic Command there is not... Over that Secure Tribe Elder is not very good. Oh, he remanded his own spell. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's not bad. Remanded his Secure Tribe Elder, so he gets to replay it, and we don't get to draw a card. Not bad, not bad. Good play. The problem is how little we're doing right now. I still think maybe I don't care about this at this point. I do nothing if we don't do anything because he's just gonna pass. The problem is we need to get through our deck. So, you know, if he's got the Remands, we got to get him out of his hand before they, you know, are countering the Cryptics when he just tries to kill us, which is what's going to happen if we just do nothing. So, same play. Okay. Play is good. Give you that. Also, our opponent kind of just had it all over there, huh? Had the Maelstrom Pulse, has the double Remand. This has not been ideal. Interesting. Okay, there's the Secure Triballer. Sure. Yeah, we gotta exhaustion him so we don't die, I think. It would appear we are stuck with this. It would have been a lot better as a sleight of hand, which is what I tried to get in at the end there. So it's not looking great for the home team here. Our opponents basically had everything they want. We did get punished pretty hard for that, for trying to run that dictate out there, but I don't think it was wrong. So it's just the way it goes. We do get our opponent here, as it were, but still not great for us. He's got a lot of cards and we do not. We do have enough to play this part the water mill, though. Feels bad to play 6-mana cycle, but sometimes you do what you gotta do. And look at that. Okay. And that's why we did it. Now we just have to not die. But if we don't die, we might have an avenue to winning the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our opponent does not have lethal yet. I think 7 lands, I believe, is just the, well, it's got the Search for Tomorrow, for the Forest to kill us, or the Bring to Light to kill us. You just had it all, really. Well, it can't be Bring to Light. It's got to be Scapeshift. Valakut should definitely be a legendary land. It's quite unfair. He has to play around counter spells. Or he's just going to go for it. And we are representing all the counter spells right now. Engineered explosives on 3. That's pretty good. Okay. He's actually just had it all, huh? Okay, well, we have a plan. My plan is to take 1 damage. Now that plan is to play this Dictate out there. Alright, we can safely assume that our opponent will blow it up. Perfect in his end step, which means, yeah, so I'm going to let it die. Then still in the end step, I'm going to pop my Elixir, which means we get to shuffle a lot of relevant cards back into our deck here. So we increase our odds of having a good draw here. Because a great draw, like Cryptic Command, would be great. Our opponent is now finally down to 3 cards. So we redrew the Dictate. So let's see if we die. I'm going to guess that we're dead. But the fact that our opponent played the Engineered Explosives when he had an opportunity to play Lethal Scapeshift, though, maybe not. Then again, it could be Bring to Light, in which case we're still dead. It is Bring to Light. Oh, it's not. It's a Sultai Charm. Okay. Somehow still not dead. Oh, the destroys target artifact or enchantment, like Dictate or Prefix. He's going for the kill. See what his top 2 cards are. Discarded a couple ramp spells. This one's going down to the wire, but we have a line to winning if we're not dead. And we're dead. No. Yes. Yes, he's just floating all his mana. Which means his hand is Bring to Light and Remands. He just actually had it all the entire game. Jesus, okay. Can't beat that. Well, maybe let's see how many mountains he's got. Believe there's plenty in there. Yeah, there's only 1, 2 on the field, so yeah, we're super dead. Wow, okay, well, our opponent had a lot of the good cards there, and we had some close turns and didn't quite get there. Those Remands were very good. The Maelstrom Pulse was very good. The fact also that he had that Engineered Explosive last turn when he clearly didn't have lethal was very good, because we would have had Dictate on the field and drawn Walk the Eon and had Walk the Eons and maybe attempted to get there. Either way, we have died. Good game, so it was a good match. As you can see, obviously the blue version of that deck, which is the much less common version, is better against extra turns than just the regular build of Scapeshift. But that was a good game.